Hey guys, how we doing? It's Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So today we're just going to go through a bit of price action, have a look at what's going on in the market. Obviously we've got a bit of a green day, so let's not be too disheartened about anything. We'll take these when they come right now. We haven't seen any for a long while. It's been a bit painful down here, but let's just get into it and see what's going on. So, as I've kept saying over and over again, at some point we will see a relief rally. Am I getting my hopes up at the minute? No. We're going to need to clear past this wick here, or even this wick to start with. So this $31,400 mark is the first real hurdle. Then after that, probably $32,600 to start to see this relief rally take a bit of form. After that, we're going to be targeting the 50-day moving average, which will probably come down to in and around this region. So may even double up with that 32,000 sort of area, so $32,000, $33,000. And then the 50-day moving average up here at 40,000 probably will double up with this as resistance here. We'll see resistance from the bottom of these wicks where they found support. So this $32,000, $33,000 area is going to have some really strong resistance. Still a 10% rally from here, so it will feel nice in that period. To be completely back bullish on the market, we need to reclaim this high here, which is 48,000, turn that into support, and then really look to move out of this zone. Right now, we currently don't know if this is going to be a relief rally, reversal rally, or anything like that. So we'll just keep playing it as it comes every day. But as I've always said, nothing moves down in a straight line, nothing moves up in a straight line. Even if we are bearish and going to continue this bearish trend, we should have at least some small relief rally, a pump. And that's what we're looking at right now. Maybe the start of one of those. Obviously, it's too early to tell, but it's still nice to see 3.97 green on Bitcoin. Ethereum is a more interesting chart for me. I've tweeted about this a few times. Ethereum actually didn't lose the low from the summer. It still hasn't lost that. It's retested it 5 times. And as I tweeted the other day, we have actually had... Let me see if I can find the tweet straight away. No, it's not that one. It's that one there. Cool. On the 28th of May, I tweeted another touch of the support for ETH. Bullish divergence on the daily RSI. I'd like to see more volume and then a push towards the moving averages. So a bullish divergence basically means that the same low was set, but a higher low was set on the RSI, Relative Strength Index. And that can... Basically, a divergence means that two things aren't agreeing with each other. So because the price action... If you should be seeing on the RSI like here, the price action should have been a higher low, but because it wasn't, it means that there's a divergence, meaning the two things don't agree, and that can mean that there's potential upside to come out of that. So that's what I've noticed and pointed out on ETH, and since then we have actually continued to rally. We haven't had that volume come through, but we have had the rally that I thought might come. Obviously, there's nothing to shout about, guys. It was I think it was around here when I called it, and we're up maybe $100 on Ethereum since that price. For ETH, we want to be retaking this price action here, $2,100 or $2,200 really, and then attacking the daily moving averages, which will probably come down to about this sort of area, probably 2,250, and then the 50-day, and then the 200-day will probably be in and around here, 2.7k. But you've got all this resistance to get through, so another resistance at 2,174 and 2,300, and then to be completely bullish back on Ethereum again, we need to be reclaiming this price level here at $3,500, and that would be continuation to the upside from there, in my opinion. But what you've also got to think is, and this is why crypto is such a hard market, by the time you're back up this level, that's an 87% increase from here, and you've missed a massive part, if not the majority of the move, depending on where we continue to go to. So there are always things to play into your mind. So the way I'm playing it still, guys, is to be holding a little bit of cash on the side and just dollar cost averaging in. Personally, I did buy quite a lot of XRP last week. I was dollar cost averaging in, and yeah, that's basically where I am right now. So this is XRP. Again, XRP needs to be getting back up to these sorts of levels here. We need to reclaim the 46 cent level, and then we're really attacking the 50-day moving average and the previous huge support that was held here back from the summer, which is about 51 cent. That'll be a huge level there for XRP. If we can get back above 55, 56 cent and turn this area here into support, I think we'll struggle on it for a while. We could break up towards the moving averages, the 200-day at 72, come down, sit back on top of that, and then push up and really look to reclaim the 91 cent. It's a long way away from where we are right now, guys, so These are just ideal scenarios. Remember, we can always continue to the downside, so have that cash ready on the side just in case we do. That's the way I've personally been playing it. I am basically hugely exposed at the minute though. I don't have much cash left at all, and I did place a small XRP buy order this morning. If we do get that relief rally, maybe I'll take some profits, but not huge amounts, just enough to be able to cushion myself again if we come down, and I will be completely transparent if and when I do that. But if is a big one. Let's see how the market reacts. We've got still so much going on with the wider economy. The DXY itself is still coming down. If we have a daily close here today, this will be the first day that we've had a daily close below the 50-day moving average on the DXY for a long while. We haven't had it since all the way back here in January. Sorry, it'll be this one in February, sorry. So it's been a while. I still would like to see the DXY cool off. But again, do we want to see it come down in a straight line? Nothing really goes down in a straight line. But if we could see it start to really lose this level, we could see some capitulation in the DXY, and that would be nice. And then looking at the 10-year Treasury bonds as well, to give you an idea. I did spot a bit of a head and shoulders pattern here on the 10-year. I don't know if I talked about this in a previous video or not. We would like the 10 years to finish below this price level here, to have a daily close at 2.701%, and then we could look to come, my price target then would be to come down towards the 2.2% level. So that's what I'm looking for. These things indicate that basically the strength of the dollar, and when the dollar is weakening, that DXY, when the DXY is weakening is when crypto's rallied in the past. So let's see what happens there, guys. So just going on to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we're still at a 10 on fear, so we're in extreme fear, and this is a chart to show when we've been in these time periods before. We have had a 9 before, which was in the C19 crash back in January of 2020. Not January, like March of 2020. We did get to an 8 and a 9, look there, on the Fear and Greed Index. And even when we were at our lowest back in 2019, like absolute bottom, we only got to an 11. And recently we've had a few 10s. We had a 9, yeah. Oh no, we did have a few 10s and 12s. So previously, they have been decent times to buy. Look, when we get down to scores like this, like even there at the low last summer, we only got to a 19 and we still rallied. Here we got to an 8 or a 9 and we rallied all of this. Look, we rallied all the way up there. And then from this bear market down here, when we got scores of like 11, that was actually our lowest point. And then we rallied all the way to make this high here. Obviously, and then price action proceeded. Oh no, I just clicked. I'm going to mess that up. Well, actually, what we'll do is we will just have a quick look at that on a zoomed in time frame, where we are right now, just to show you. Look, so look, the last few days have been consistent 10. I think we did have a 9 there, haven't we? 10s, 9s, 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s. Very low on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, meaning that, as the saying goes, guys, when the market's fearful, you should be greedy, and when the market's greedy, you should be fearful. I know this could be different at any other time because we have got quantitative tightening coming and all these sorts of bigger macroeconomic events, but you can only play the markets that are in front of you, and I wouldn't don't put yourself out the market just because people are really bearish. That's what I always would think. And then we're going to have a little look at this. This is something that I noticed last week. I think I made this chart on Saturday. Friday afternoon, and it's now Monday, so 27th. Some thoughts on Bitcoin cycles. We look more similar to a 2013-15 setup than we do to 2017-18. Could we be in an 8-year cycle? Are we forming a bottom? Have we seen a bottom? What do you see? And this is the chart that I created. I just want to show you a couple of my thoughts. We'll start with this. The highs from the 2013 to the lows were 436 days. That was the 2013 to 2015 bear market. The highs at the minute from the previous all-time high to the low is basically, guys, I am discounting the secondary high potentially because the high that we formed in November was only a slightly higher high, and things like incentives of investors sentiment of investors was very low at that time, and search volumes were down. Volume in the market was down. Look, it's not very high. Like, the volume's higher here than it was there at the next high. So just if you discount that and say that this was the high, back in March of 21. We're 426 days from that high to where we are right now, where we were then. So that's the same as 2013. Then we formed a long bottom, so this could be a longer period of a bottoming period here, and then we pushed out of this zone here, and we rallied a total of 11,500% and reached that price target there. So if we rallied another 11,000% from here, we'd be all the way up between 200,000 and 2 million. I don't know what the exact price target is there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm also saying that would take 3 years. But I'm just saying it's a possibility. We're looking at cycles from the past. It is a similar structure in terms of our capitulation candle, retracement rally, capitulation candle, retracement rally, capitulation candle, retracement rally. We did set the slightly higher high here, like I talked about, and each time that we've touched the 200-day moving average, or is this the 50-day? Sorry, on the monthly. Sorry, this is the 50-day moving average on the monthly. We've touched it here, we touched it here, we touched it here, and we're touching it again now. So these are things to suggest that we might be seeing a bottom, as well as the RSI. If you can see this purple box at the bottom here, the RSI has never been lower than 43 to 46, and we're just in that region now, or just touching into it. So is this the start of an upside move? No one knows, but let's see what happens. I just thought this was very interesting. Spend a long time looking at charts. I do like to draw all over them, and I do think that there are a lot of comparisons here. I'd like to know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think to this? Am I over analyzing it, or do you think there's something to this? This is another thing that I wanted to point out, guys. This is Chris Black. He said, this photo from Davos, which is where the World Economic Forum was last week, confirms every fear that I've expressed to you about plans for DeFi. The plan has always been to endure the shadow phase, infiltrate DeFi, WF partners like Chainlink and MetaMask, and then swoop in and take over big banks to legitimize. In my opinion, this isn't fear at all. I think this is exactly what everyone knows is going to happen. We're this close, as you can see on this chart, to basically institutional adoption. When that comes, guys, all sorts of money is going to flood into the network. I'm not fearful of this at all. This is what I want to happen. Yes, we will lose some of the decentralization and some of the libertarian aspects of crypto in general, but guys, we're going to gain a huge amount of capital in the space, and if you play your cards right and you're investing in the right assets, we should make a hell of a lot of return on the assets that we hold. I just want to shout out Digital Perspectives for being a sick guy, but also for this thread. You guys can go and read this for yourself, but he makes a sick thread about XRP. He talks about how it's not just a crypto that exchanges value from one place to another, but you can also issue stocks on there. It's not just a crypto that transfers fiat value from one place to another. You can transfer any sort of value, gold, euro, cryptos, etc., etc. The way that I've always said to think of XRP, that the XRP ledger is a decentralized exchange. So imagine like a decentralized Binance being built into a ledger, and XRP is the BNB coin of the world. That's the way that I most like to explain XRP, because it can literally do, it can just exchange value from one place to another. And finally, we've got this from Neum Global. We will just listen to it because I think it's very interesting. They're talking about how Ripple have basically saved them money, but also found them customers, and how they've helped their customers with RippleNet. Let's just play this, and then we'll just quickly finish by going over what's happened. I think this is interesting as well, but we'll get into that in 1 second. Let's just play the video.
My name is Prajit Danu. I'm co-founder, CEO of the company I set up back in 2014. With a clear vision of trying to build a global payment infrastructure which connects banks, financial institutions. If you look at our customer base, we actually cover a wider base than majority of the payment service providers. So about 60% of our business is financial institutions. So financial institutions includes banks, payment processors, other payment services providers, money services business, etc. Then the 40% of our businesses also includes people such as marketplaces, travel tech companies, hotel booking sites, etc. So the key aspect what we try to solve for them is two aspects of payments, is how to send money fast as possible and at the lowest possible cost. Fast forward 2019, we are now accessible in about 35 countries. We send payments to about 55 countries. I think RippleNet actually really helps us globalize much faster. I think a great example is one of the customers which we've got, say BTEC.
So I just want to say, firstly, that they're active in 55 countries and mainly work with financial institutions.
Tech, for example, BTEC is a customer in Brazil who uses us to process payments into quite a few markets across the globe. We would have never met BTEC if it was not for RippleNet, right? Because we were actually solving a problem, but we did not have a sales force in Latin America acquiring clients for us. So that was actually done by RippleNet. So I think what RippleNet really helps us do is go to markets which we are not present, help us really articulate a solution, etc., much better than what we could do. So I think RippleNet is a very strong partnership where we are seeing scaling happening much faster on RippleNet than actually acquiring customers directly. If you're a bank and if your son calls you up at midnight, say Singapore time, and says that, hey, I'm in trouble and I need some money immediately, the only way for you is to go and send cash today, right? So that means you need to go out of your house, go and find a cash location, give cash, call your son, give him a number, he goes to a cash out location, takes the number and gets the cash out. But if you need it immediately through a bank, it's not possible. So what we've been working with banks to make this payment system real time. So for example, if your kid calls you up and says that, hey, I need money immediately, you just go onto your mobile app, 3 clicks, send, and within few minutes, the money is already in his bank account. And that's a great service point for a bank. It enables them to acquire more customers. And that's what banks want, right? They want to acquire more customers, grow their business. And by connecting to RippleNet, it actually definitely is a strong point for them to kind of being able to offer a service like this. Because being a technology-driven company, we don't need that many people. So across the globe, we are about 200 people today. Companies of our scale and size are thousands. Say a parallel competitor would have about 1,100 people. We don't need that many people. So our focus is on technology, machine learning, partnerships with RippleNet, for example, help us drive our cost even down further.
So that's obviously Niam. I think that's a very interesting interview or testimony. I think it shows you the power of cryptocurrency and what's going to come in the future and what's already happening right now. And I think I've drawn on this point last week. I think that it's very important to understand that at the minute we've got a lot of issues in the current financial system, not just that we've already talked about, but especially being highlighted from this war that's happening. The trust for the dollar is falling, people being cut out of SWIFT, so there's uncertainty around that. There's a emergence of SIPs like Chinese SWIFT basically, and I think there's going to be a lot of different payment rate like networks running parallel to each other. So you might have like the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, all paying each other over something like SIPs, and then you've got SWIFT still for the westernized countries and their banks and the people who believe in the dollar still or still close and allies with America. But you actually are seeing Ripple emerge as a potential competitor to both of these. I talked about this on a little video the other day. So Ripple already have 25 countries using ODL, on-demand liquidity, which directly leverages XRP, plus all the companies that run on RippleNet. At some point, a lot of those countries will test or use XRP specifically, and I personally speculate and believe that they will trade XRP as a currency itself rather than just going in and out of XRP with their fiat currencies like they are now. And even if they don't, Ripple are creating a big payment network. At some point, one of the payment networks will probably try and engulf and buy out Ripple, I would have thought, because that's what always happens in any sort of industry. Mergers and acquisitions are huge for any sort of industry at all. So like when you have Facebook buying out Instagram, not only do you buy out your competitors so they're no longer competing with you, you also add their customer base to your network. So I think Ripple will start to acquire smaller crypto companies that can do other things, and then I think we might see huge payment systems, maybe like Swift, like put offers in for RippleNet, and let's see what happens in the future. Obviously, this is my personal speculation, but let's see what happens there in the future. I don't think that is a million miles away, guys. I really, really don't. I think that Ripple obviously have created a solution to a global problem, and XRP could be the key to unlock that. And this is brilliant. This is exactly why we see a low price action for XRP, because even though this is just a customer testimony, someone telling you that how he's using RippleNet and how it's helped his business, people blindly hate and dislike XRP and Ripple for no reason, for absolutely no reason. And that's why there's great value there, in my opinion. At some point, the utility will shine through and people will recognize XRP and Ripple for what they are. And that's when you'll see huge price action and appreciation in the market. The market's not there in maturity yet, as you can see. Like, you can see that even from that first comment there on Twitter. But that's just something that I really wanted to highlight to you guys. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Keep your eyes on the market. Hold your crypto strong. Maybe take some profits if you want to de-risk your portfolio a little. Have a little bit of cash on the side in case we come down further. And hold all strong and enjoy. I do think there's a potential that we could absolutely rip from here. What percentage probability I put on that, I don't know. But we've got everyone in the world telling you that the market's coming down. So is everyone in the world normally right is what I'm going to leave you with for the end of this video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Peace up, A-Town down, as usual.